to start. Get yourself a killer intro. Do you like my guitar? Welcome to my YouTube channel.
Well, hello, and welcome back, everybody. My name is Trusten, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about Milky Way Idle, right? We're going to be talking a little bit about parties, and then we might get into some endgame stuff, since I know there's been a lot of questions about that lately. So when you are looking for a party, let me go ahead and go over to find party here. I'm currently looking for a Bear With It elite group, and I don't have one, so I'm eventually going to have to create one. But if I'm looking for a party and there is one active, let's see. So for example, this party here. If I'm going to join this party, the first thing I want to do is I want to check their levels, right? So they're combat level 105. I'm a little bit higher than that, so I would fit in well with this party. Let's see what's going on down here. Combat level 107, I would fit in well with this party. If you're starting new content and you're not sure where you should be or what level you should be at, that's a good indicator of what you should be looking for. So if I'm not Golem Cave, I don't like Golem Cave as a ranger. But if I'm looking at these guys, okay, they're combat level 113 for Bear With It. What's the other dude at? Combat 108. All right, so I could do Bear With It fairly easily, I think, with my 115 combat level. The next thing that I want to check after I'm like, all right, so this is where I can be. This is the kind of the stuff I can do. What am I farming for? Where can I find it? And after I find that area and determine that I am suited to go into that area and group, the next thing I want to check is I want to check my food levels. All right, well, if I'm going to go party, how long am I planning on doing combat for? Am I going to stop after 8 hours? Am I going for a full 24-hour run? I just got out of a group not too long ago that was doing Elite Twilights, and I think we did that for 4 days. So I'm recovering. Today's my recover day, so I'm making all my dragon fruit back up. I've got to redo my super range coffees and then my range coffee, and I need to add some other stuff in there. But that's what I'm doing, is I'm getting prepared for my next big run of combat. So in short, when you're joining a group, make sure you got enough foods to last you. Like here, the super range coffee, I've only got 69 left. Nice. But that's not enough to sustain me for any period of time. I know that about 300-ish is how many you need for a full 24-hour set. So I need at least, and to feel good about what I'm bringing to the table, I need at least 500, if not more, super range coffee to continue doing the kind of DPS that I want to do without running out of coffee and stopping. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have gear set up. So if we look at my equipment here, I feel like I'm pretty adequate for most things in this game. But if you're working your way up towards mid-game or end-game, and you're not sure what gear you should have on, the best place to ask is beginner chat. I'm in here quite often. There's a lot of other people in here that are very knowledgeable. But the other thing you can do is you can check on the party and check their equipment. All right, let's see. So they are, one thing you have to be cautious of is they are in their skilling gear. So they don't have a full set of DPS gear on. But if I look and I compare, all right, I've got a soul hunter, they've got a soul hunter, my adamant, what is this? Revenant tunic and revenant pants. So we've got the same there, sided bracers. So we're pretty similar in what we're bringing to the table. So I feel like I am adequately geared to join this group. If they had a third option, I would probably join it. So I'm ready to go for this group that I'm looking for. Make sure that your gear is somewhat comparable to the group that you're joining. If your gear is a bit lower, that's kind of okay. If it's a bit higher, that's great. You know, and if you're not sure, ask. People love to help out. Speaking of that 4-day group that I was just in there, one thing that we did is we were we talked a lot, all right? So if we ran out of coffees or we ran out of food or whatever, we would let the party know, hey, I need to go get food. I'm completely out. I'm tapped. It's going to take me a few hours to get my food back, or, you know, whatever the case may be. You guys want to chill and wait and, you know, get your food back, or do you want to disband the party? We were waiting. So there was a couple times where we were down for a couple hours to restock some food, but then we went back at it. So the important thing here is just communicate with your party. If you're running low on something and you're really enjoying the party and it's super beneficial, like tell them, hey, it's going to take me a couple hours to restock. Do you guys mind waiting, or do you want me to dip? Most of the time, if you're running in a good group, they'll wait for you, man. They like having people that are on it, ready to go, know what they need. You know, it's super beneficial to be in a group like that. And the last thing I want to talk about with grouping is probably the most frustrating for a lot of people. For me, it's not. I don't care. Also, if you notice here in my group, I'm like, hey, my DPS is lacking compared to everybody else. These guys are really nice. They're good people. So they're letting me tag along. I feel I shouldn't be in this group. I feel like my DPS is too low, and they could find somebody that could out DPS me and they could do more encounters per hour. So good on them. Thank you guys for letting me stay. But I feel like I am not progressing as quickly as they are. So I should be doing something else. But anyway, I digress. The last thing I want to talk about is something that could be the most frustrating for a lot of people. It's not so much for me because I just roll with a lot of things. And that is that you have to pray to RNGesus to try to get something, right? Like these drops, the frenzy books here, they're not a super common drop. I'm lucky I've got 2 in 3 hours, 3.5 hours, right? I don't have any panda fluff. If I go check my colleagues here, all right, so they got a black bear fluff. They got 3 books. 2 books here, no key fragments or anything. But you just have to understand that this is an RNG game. You have to be okay with the RNG that's going to that's going to happen. All right, let's see here. So lots of books. I've got some a wing, an amber, 2 fragments. They got 2 fragments, some amber. They got a hoof, 2 fragments. So this group, pretty lucky. We're farming for fragments. And so we each got 2 so far in 7.5 hours. Yikes. But that's the way the cards, land, right? Like it's an RNG based game. So be happy for the people that you're in a group with that get stuff that, they're farming for the same thing you are, right? So be happy for them for getting the things that they're farming for. And they'll be happy for you when you get the things that you're farming for. Because we're all trying to get, the same high dollar drops if you're a market cow, or specific things that you need, like key fragments to create dungeon keys. So be happy for them. They'll be happy for you. It is the way of life. All right. Another big question that I've been asked lately is, what's my gear supposed to look like? What does dungeon gear look like? And all that jazz. So I'm going to do my best to talk about melee, ranged, and magic setups for dungeon. Actually, we'll go for like bears and above, because I feel like once you hit bears, you're starting to hit mid game, and then you go from there. So for melee, what you're going to look for is, let me go to Iron Trusten. Why am I going to Iron Trusten? I don't know. Just is my favorite Trusten. All right. Anyway, for bears, you're going to want to at least have like holy stuff, or bears, golems, twilight, stuff like that. You want at least holy gear. And what you might want to try to find or farm for is a Gobo Defender for DPS. It's great DPS. You need 60 attack, 60 power, and 60 defense for you to wield it. Super good though. So I would highly recommend Gobo Defender for your offhand, a good DPS. And then do I even have them? Yes. Pincer gloves, super good for damaging. Super good for damage, melee damage. Recommend them. Obviously your pouch wants to be a giant pouch. You want that as quickly as you possibly can. That is going to be the best bang for your buck. And I only have the grizzly bear shoes, but the grizzly bear shoes or other bear shoes are very good for melee DPS. The types of foods you want to have, I would probably say, I like going with dragon fruit. I found my combo because I have the soul hunter crossbow, which steals mana. So my combo is dragon fruit and peach. But dragon fruit's really good. And then you'll probably want to have no less than Marsberry for healing. The other thing that I would probably recommend is if you can get your hands on it is a fluffy red hat. Super good for your helmet. And then maybe a vision helmet. I was checking to see if I have one. I don't have one. Maybe a vision helmet, which would be over in cheese smithing head, which would give you some accuracy and evasion and a little bit of armor there. So that might help with your melee. And then jewelry, I'm always going to recommend wearing regen stuff for your ring and your earrings. And then possibly either, I like using the necklace of wisdom when I'm trying to learn stuff because it's got that skill experience and the combat experience. But you might want to go for either the necklace of speed, or I think there's a warrior necklace. Let's see. Yeah, the fighter necklace. Oh yeah, fighter necklace is really nice. I'd probably go with the fighter necklace. That would be my setup from gold or bears up. And then when you start getting into dungeons, then you're either going to want to roll with your, let's see, cheese smithing here, main hand. You got your granite bludgeon, which is your mace build. If you're going spear or stabby build, we got the stalactite spear. Both of those are fantastic. If you are going for a slash build, you can look into the werewolf slasher up here, which is pretty nice. It's two-handed though, so you have to keep that in mind. And then for your dungeon 1 tank stuff, you're going to want to have your bulwarks. So either bulwark, start out with the holy bulwark. You can get enough stuff to craft the spiked bulwark. It's even better. That would be your melee overview of getting into dungeons and bears and all that stuff. All right, let's talk about something I'm really familiar with now, which is ranged. So with ranged, when I went into the bear group, I didn't realize that the Treant Shield was so good. The Treant Shield for ranged is extremely good. And people are like, oh, why is it so good? It offers a base of 4% increased damage. As ranged, your main objective is to do damage. So 4% increased damage is better than a little bit of resistance you get there. It's better than a little bit of accuracy you get there. So you get 15% more accuracy from an arcane shield versus a treant shield, but you don't get the damage increase. So that's why I think the treant shield's so good. So with archery, with ranged, you want to go with bows until about redwood. Once you get the redwood, you're going to switch over to crossbows. So you'll probably get your redwood crossbow and then your arcane crossbow. So your arcane crossbow and treant shield are going to be your bread and butter for most of your farming experience until you get your soul hunter crossbow. So with your gear loadout here, you're going to want umbral. So you want at least full umbral. You want to have your centaur boots, which are best in slot at the moment. And then your sighted bracers. I don't even have to click for them. Your sighted bracers, which again are best in slot at the moment. Obviously, you want your giant pouch to be rolling with that. And as far as abilities go, if you have 3 slots, I would say Berserk, Rain of Arrows, and then some other attack there. Probably if you can get Silencing Shot, Steady shot is, in my opinion, one of the best. I used steady shot until I got penetrating shot. So my loadout would have looked like this. I would have rain of arrows here. And then that turned off. So that would have been my loadout as I'm leveling into bears. Once I get 90 intelligence, I would go with frenzy, rain of arrows, and I would put steady shot here. Just like that. And then once you get penetrating shot, swap that out. And then honestly, if you're Iron Cow, any ability, any front ability in groups is helpful because it helps the whole group. But if you are running solo or whatever, Fierce Aura is, in my opinion, the best for ranged. As far as mana goes, you're going to want to go with Dragon Fruits, and then again, no less than Marsberry. That would be my suggestion there. As you move up into harder groups, so like Twilight or something like that, you're going to want to, you're going to need to farm Twilight a lot, right? Because Twilight is what gives you your Revenant animas. So you're going to need quite a few of those for your Tunic and your Chaps. And at the same time, doesn't drop here. Infernal Abyss has Soul Hunters, and you're going to need to sim this up so you can start farming your Soul Hunter fragments for your Soul Hunter crossbow. And again, you're going to want at least Dragon Fruit. You might want to move up to Spaceberry at this time with Twilight Zone and Infernal Abyss, either solo or grouping, because these guys hit pretty hard, and they'll hit you really hard with Umbral. So once you get your Revenant, you might be able to back it down a little bit, but I wouldn't suggest it. Once you get into Dungeon 1, you're going to need something like the Soul Hunter. You can have Umbral. Just make sure it's enhanced a bit. And then once you get your Revenant stuff, you can start swapping out for Revenant. Hopefully you get your drop for your quiver. Or if not, then you get your stuff to make a quiver. Oh, I think I alked them all away. Oopsies. But your quiver is going to be pretty good. Hang on. Oh, you just have to farm for tokens for quivers. I forgot about that. That's also why I don't have many tokens. But anyway. Revenant gear, quiver, and bow is going to pretty much carry you to the end game. In Dungeon 2, you can get your acro helmet, which is your acro hood, which is what I'm currently farming for. I'm almost there. Fingers crossed. But that's where you're going to go as far as ranged goes. Now, let's talk about mages. So mages have a bit of diversity when it comes to what you're using based on your skills, kind of like melee does. But what you want to do is you want to, when you get into like, I'll even say Sork Tower for mages, because that's where you're going to spend a lot of your time, because mages are going to need a ton of frost spheres, chronospheres, and cloth and sorcerer souls. Your sorcerer souls make your Sork boots, which are the best in slot at the moment. So the sooner you can get those, the better it is for everybody. And then your chronospheres make your chrono gloves, which give you ability haste, which is fantastic. You obviously want your giant pouch. And then depending on what route you're going, I'm in combat right now, so I can't swap anything. But depending on the route that you're going, you're either going to want flaming robes, icy robes, or your Luna. Luna is for nature and healing. Flaming is for fire, and icy is for water or ice. So I am primarily a healer, so I have mostly healer stuff, including Tome of Healing and all that jazz. But what you're going to want is you're going to want your Tome of Elements. You'll farm for your Frost Staff. That is a huge boost. And then Icy Robes. I use Frost Staff no matter what my loadout is. So if I'm healing, I'm still using a Frost Staff. If I'm doing fire, I'm still doing a Frost Staff. And that's simply because I don't have the Fire Staff yet as a hard chase. All right. So this is actually what your loadout should look like. Something similar to this is what your loadout should look like when it comes to dungeon stuff. So when you are in dungeons, you're going to want your Icy Robes or Fire Robes and your Frost Staff. You're going to want to have Dragon Fruit. I swapped this out. This is for normal combat like this. You can see like this is my loadout currently. But I swapped my gummies out for Dragon Fruit or Space Gummies. And then the Marsberry Cake goes to Space Cake as well. I also have Super Intelligence Coffee. I use Channeling Coffee and Mage Coffee, Magic Coffee for my dungeon work in here. Dungeon 1 is extremely hard for mages because enemies have a ton of resist. So it is very important that you're using the best coffees and food that you can to try to boost up that DPS there. When you get into Dungeon 2 type stuff, you're going to want to pick up Jackalope Staff for support, which comes from Dungeon 1, which is my current chase on this character. And then you will, from Dungeon 2, you'll pick up your Rabbit's Hat, your magical hat, which is, again, the big chase that I'm going for on this character, which is great for all nature, water, or fire builds. And eventually in dungeons, you will get your super good. Oh, there's so many. I forgot there's so many more. But your royal robes you'll get from endgame dungeons, and this will be your endgame setup. You use your royal robes, your royal tops, and your royal bottoms, and that'll be the end game. But that's all I have for you today. I hope this helps you out a little bit. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or would like other videos on other topics, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to help you out. Until next time, this is Trusten. Toodles.
I wanna say thanks for the watch. I wanna say thanks for the view. Come back tomorrow for another one. I've got a lot more for you. This is the outro.